in football and coming up in here in a little bit. But Hunter, for you folks watching, did you like my new artwork for today?
I did like your new artwork for today. I did like your new artwork today because, I mean, it's deserving.
Mm-hmm.
It's deserving.
I'm
You know, you're pulling the artwork up. For those of you that might not have seen the artwork, it is Bowl with a laughing face and Kawhi Leonard looking oh so lost. And it's the truth. If I'm Denver, I have every right now to just claim bragging rights. Seriously, I watched that game last night from start to end. I watched the Miami and Celtics game too from start to end. But I want to stick on the one that to me looked like the white flag was being waved in like the middle of the third quarter.
Like they quit, didn't they?
They looked like they quit. 100%. The Clippers looked like they gave up.
I agree with all that. I'm Hunter, to me, and just talking to Andre down the hall, this is what I think. See where you go with it. The Clippers lost Game 5 after Denver came back, and Game 6 after Denver came back. So now you're forced to Game 7, where you know if you lose this one,
you go home.
You go home. So they got up again early. They were up like 11.
Yeah, I was up like 11 the second quarter, and then it only
was
ended
a minute or two later.
Yeah, it only ended with them being the half ended. The Clippers were up by 2.
Right.
But you went from having another double-digit
lead
to blowing it.
Right. And so just from a perspective of, if you play a team, Hunter, you've had them down 3-1, and everything you've done up until this point, they've came back and made it even. So now it's third quarter time. You've already had a 10-point lead, and they erased it. So now it's even. You got 2 minutes. How tight did the Clippers get? I'm thinking they just got tight. Think about how many shots they just clank.
How about the last shot that Paul George took of the night? That was hit off the side of the backboard.
Playoff P. Hunter.
Playoff P. Good Lord. And I'll say this. I praise Kawhi Leonard a lot on this show because he is great. He is very good at what he does. But last night, he shrunk. He couldn't get... I will say this. Everybody for the Clippers, they could have handed some sort of ATM machine a big old bill to break it down to some ones just to try and feed the goal. Be like, hey, try and tip it off. Hey, maybe essentially saying buy a basket. They couldn't do it all night. No. Nobody on that Clippers team could buy a basket.
So,
and I think that got in their head, and they were just like, well, what are we gonna do?
I when they came back there at halftime and cut it, and then I was like, in the third quarter. If you're thinking about those locker rooms, you're thinking Clippers like, what do we do to kill these guys? We can't. No matter what we do, we haven't been able to kill them. Then you start missing shots, Hunter. Then you get down, and all of a sudden, they didn't. Denver kept doing what they were doing. Murray kept firing away, and he had an outstanding game. For example, I'm pulling the scores up for the box score up for everyone at home, so I make sure I get it accurate. So that was on Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it was last night.
Heat and Celtics play tomorrow. Nuggets, Lakers will play Friday night. So Murray, Hunter, he had 3 ridiculously dumb, hard 3-pointers.
Oh, and he hit him. He could not miss.
So how about, I don't know if you remember it, but at some point in the game, I texted Andy saying the kids come in to my basketball man. And after 23 minutes, Paul Millsap had 0 points, and he clanged a shot. And I texted him. I said, goodness, he is awful. And he texted back, you misspelled old. And I was like, you can call it whatever you want. He's 0 for 23 minutes. And Hunter, the next 2 times he touched it,
he hits threes.
He sniped 2 threes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, he still only hit 6 points in 32 minutes. Those are the only 2 shots he hit.
He hit that shot from the top of the key for his first 3-pointer. And when I saw it go in, and literally it was uncontested. Because why would you run out on him? He hadn't hit a shot all night.
No.
It was uncontested, and he just, splashes it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching that, and immediately in my mind, I said, shit. Shit. If you are the Clippers, that is what you don't want to see, because Michael Porter Jr. said came true. Other people have to score.
Porter only had 2.
I know. I mean, but
where you at, Michael? Where you at, Junior?
What he said, I don't necessarily know. Again, I mean, it all comes down to how you infer what he said. But I don't necessarily know if that means he's saying that he needs more touches.
I don't think that's what he was saying,
I think that was just more of a team thing, because
you can't rely
think
on
about
two
it.
people.
Think about it. He said that, and then they went on a 3-game win streak. So did Michael Porter Jr. start this win streak by basically lighting a fire underneath everybody else and maybe bringing it to the attention of Coach Malone? Like, hey, other people got to get involved. It can't just be the Jokic Murray show. Even though, last night, it still kind of was. Really, if you talk about just points-wise, it was the Murray show.
Right.
Jamal Murray went off. Jokic just had a triple-double.
So, I watched a little film breakdown of it last night after the game was over from Tim Legler.
Yeah.
And a little bit about what was going on. So, Murray, Hunter.
He's good, man.
By himself, had 40.
He's so good.
You know what the Clipper starters had?
They had like 15. No, like combined 25. They were like 10 and 15 or something.
They
like
had
that.
more.
Did they?
Had 20, 27. 48.
Oh, you said the starters?
The starters for the Clippers.
I thought you said the stars.
No,
I was just talking Kawhi and Paul George, because together they only had like 20 something.
The complete starters, yeah. So remember coming in this series, it was all, Kawhi and Paul George, and they combined in Game 7 for 24 points.
That's it.
Harrell was the leading scorer. You let Montrezl Harrell.
And I thought Montrezl Harrell played bad this whole series.
He was 6-9 from the free throw line last night.
He is terrible with the free throw shooter.
2 points in the game where I thought it was over. The second Millsap 3, when he hit it, it put him at 83. They ended up getting 89, so that wasn't the complete dagger, but it was close. But when he hit that one, I was like, oh, that's gonna be tough to come back from that. And then when Harrell missed the dunk and tried to just slam it in, and it went all the way back court, they ended up with the ball back, but still.
Montrezl Harrell kept getting his shit beat, too, by Jokic. If he tried to drive on him, I think Trez is obviously a little bit more athletic than Joker, because Joker even come out and said, look, man, I'm slow. He knows his limitations. But he gets in front of Montrez every time he tried to drive baseline and go up on him, and he just would pack his shit. To me, congratulations to the Nuggets, and I'm actually super happy that they won. Don't get me wrong. I had the Clippers winning the championship, because if you look at their roster, you would think, okay, they should be the better team.
That's what everybody said.
That's what everybody said.
It was ESPN was 0 for 16.
On champions?
They didn't even think the Nuggets would get to Game 7. No, just on this
series.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah, they said it would be done in 5.
Just on this series.
They said it would be done in 5. So, and what I've seen throughout the Nuggets run so far in the playoffs, I said it as soon as the Nuggets started playing the Jazz. Jamal Murray is the X factor for this team. I mean, for those of you that have tuned in and heard us talk about this as the playoffs have gone on, I've said Jamal Murray's the X factor the whole time, because he's the guy that at the end of the game I'm choosing to take the last shot, because he's deadly from outside and inside. He's a complete ball player. Yep. And it helps when Jokic does get his 20 or 30, but he showed you last night he didn't have to get that. Now, he got 22 rebounds,
right?
But he walking triple-double.
So their offense, Hunter, so what they're doing, kind of give you an
idea. A lot of ball screens.
Well, so yes, you're right.
For Murray.
So what they're doing is playing the Utah Jazz pick and roll.
Mm-hmm.
So you're playing Jokic at the Karl Malone, and Murray's playing the Stockton. So what they're doing once they pick, Jokic rolls right to the center, the circle at the top of the free throw line.
Mm-hmm.
So he's rolling there. On one side you'll have 2 guys, the other side you'll have 1. So when Jokic catches the ball there in the middle, he's turning to see where the team, because somebody's got to come ball,
and that's where he gets his assists.
And he'll either go to that guy immediately, or there was 2 or 3 of them last night, because defenses rotate.
Mm-hmm.
They were coming back over when they rotate and they do the double rotation, he's actually throwing it back to the third guy on it because they're talking about how he don't jump or anything. He's just right. He's just 7 foot and turns and throws it. So
he is a great passer.
So that's their offense basically for some of you old school basketball fans. They're running that Utah Jazz pick and roll action with Jokic rolling to the middle and see when Utah ran at Hunter, they were looking for, of course, the Karl Malone to score.
Yeah,
not necessarily Jokic.
And Jokic can do either or. He can score or he can pass it out of the block, which I think makes that a little bit more deadly. What I've also noticed too is a lot of the times they give the ball to Jokic at the top of the key and let him, orchestrate the offense.
Right. So that's what they're doing, right?
Right. And I'm not just saying that off of like his pick and roll. Like sometimes Murray or whoever it is, the ball handler, will bring it over the court, over half court, and they will immediately give it to Joker at the top of the key. And what I noticed a lot too that really helps Denver compared to what I noticed with the Clippers. I said this when the Clippers were playing Dallas in the first series. I noticed Los Angeles, they play a lot of ISO ball. It's a lot of what a lot of guys would say. It's a lot of street ball. The guys get the ball. All they want to do is try and create the shot. Nobody else is really moving off the ball. But when you watch Denver, as soon as they get it to Jokic, there are off-ball screens that are happening to try and get the shooters open, whether it's Gary Harris or Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., whoever it is that they're trying, Torrey Craig, whoever it is that they're trying to get off of the ball open, and then they let Joker orchestrate it and get the ball to him. I've been very impressed with Denver, and I'll admit it. I gave Denver a lot of slack, not slack. What's the word I'm looking for? I gave him a lot of flack. That's what it is. A lot of heat.
Wrong first letter.
Yeah, wrong first letter. A lot of flack, a lot of heat in that first series against the Jazz, because I said for as much talent as you have, how are you letting the Jazz outscore you offensively? And that's what we were kind of seeing the first 3 games with the Los Angeles Clippers as well. It's like, I thought the Clippers were just going to win outright, though, because I did think that they are more talented.
He's not the difference maker, but he's a difference maker with the team that helps out is Gary Harris. Because he can split.
He started to play better.
Right. Anybody that can get 10, 15 points, you need on the court. If they're, and he wasn't there the first few games. Hunter, there's some fun Jokic memes out here.
Clippers.
Of course, there's a LeBron one out there talking about the Nuggets.
Right.
They're all like Lakers in 4. Like that was what was trending last night.
No,
Lakers
I think it was Stephen A. or somebody this morning on one of the talk shows. They said Lakers in 5. I said, so you were essentially doing to the Nuggets what we did when
Mavericks.
they played to the Mavericks and the Clippers.
No. What I mean is this is what happened when LeBron.
LeBron played the Mavs
and D-Wade
and the
Chris
Heat.
Bosh played the Mavericks.
I'm just saying. I'm just talking about the disrespect to Denver,
right?
Because they were saying the same thing about the Clippers. Right. They were saying the Clippers in 5, maybe the Clippers in 6. Now they're already saying Lakers in 5.
This is Clippers, flippers, zippers, Lou Will, and strippers, or with strippers, don't matter. Nuggets in 7.
And guess what?
It's got Jokic in a do-rag and some cigarettes.
Hey, they did it, man.
Here's the other one. Post Malone, Karl Malone, Michael Malone, Patrick Mahomes, Tub Malone. We ain't going home. Nuggets in 7, baby. Nuggets in 7. Might as well bet that. 7
what,
games?
for the Lakers?
No, we're going 7.
I know, that's what I'm saying. In this Lakers series?
Yeah. Nuggets in 7. Might as well bet.
Listen, if it goes 7, I'll give Denver every opportunity to win that game. And this is what I think a lot of people aren't going to realize either, because they're not quite going to focus on the fact that the Nuggets won the game. They're going to focus on the fact that the Clippers lost the game.
Right.
And why did they lose the game? Instead, look at it a different way and say, well, why did the Nuggets win the game? The off-ball movement was better. Their offense was better. They out-rebounded the Clippers like crazy. Now, I don't necessarily know they'll be able to do that against the tallest team in the league in the Lakers, but everything that we thought the Clippers were going to do in this series to win it, they ended up falling apart at the end. And now I have no reason not to pick Denver to at least take this game 7 against the Lakers. Seriously, I don't. Because what's one of the things that we said was possibly going to be the downfall to the Lakers
guard play. It hasn't been a problem so far.
It hasn't been a problem because think about the guards that they just played.
Yeah.
They played Westbrook and Harden. Westbrook, you're not guarding him on the perimeter. You're letting him take free jump shots because you know he only shoots like 25% from the three-point line.
Yeah.
Are you going to do that to Gary Harris and Jamal Murray? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think
Harris makes the spacing.
Well, I think this just
that makes it dangerous. Is what
I think
was
this is a better matchup than what people are going to, give Denver credit for. I really think it is because I think we talked about it Monday. You asked me, do you put AD on Jokic? And you have to.
But if you do, then you lose all your depth if you're the Lakers. Because who is Dwight Howard and who is McGee going to play if they're the ones not guarding?
And not only that, Jokic, because he plays a lot of the times not strictly in the paint. I mean, that's a wide open paint right now, pulling Anthony Davis out.
I guess, could you make the argument that you could put JaVale McGee on Millsap?
Yeah,
and Howard on
Millsap's not moving.
Anything.
He's not moving. So, but even then, Paul Millsap's not playing in the paint. So you're pulling both your 7-footers essentially out.
But let's not make the mistake, and I don't want fans or folks, and I'm sure the Lakers don't want to make the same mistake by saying, well, Kawhi and George should be able to guard anybody that Denver has, including Jokic, and then turn around and then say Anthony Davis should be able to guard him just because he's a better athlete. And then have we ever seen Anthony Davis just lock down people?
No.
I mean, yeah, he can block shots. He's tall and long.
He's a shot blocker.
But is he dedicated enough on the defensive end, Hunter, to every single play is going through Jokic? Like, he has to dedicate every play to playing defense, and that's totally different than guarding somebody like one play.
The only thing I think that hurts Denver right now is they're still young. They're still so young. And the Lakers, they're old, aged veterans who half of them have really been in some sort of situation like this, at least in the conference finals.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only thing that goes against Denver.
They've won.
But they're the only team to come back 3-1 back-to-back.
And they've done it how many times? They did it last year one time, too. So
I don't know I don't remember if they did or who they did it to last year. I know they were comparing this to the only other team to do this was a Nuggets team from like the 80s.
How about Doc Rivers? No other coach in NBA history has lost 2 series up 3-1. And he has now lost his 3rd series up 3-1.
Well, they made it. Stephen A. made a good point. I usually don't give Stephen A. a lot of credit, but he was going off this morning, and he made a very good statement. He said, "Doc Rivers, you've been there for 7 years, and you still can't make a conference finals. You've been there for 7 years. I totally forgot it's been that long that he's been with the Clippers. 7 years. That was even including the Chris Paul, Blake Griffin days with DeAndre Jordan. And they still couldn't make a conference finals."
Tom's already commented Lakers in 6, Hunter.
Okay, maybe. Look, maybe. If you ask me, I would pick the Lakers right now, but it's not by a lot.
How can I not say you guys on the Nuggets? I had them in the finals. Y'all had the Clippers.
Listen.
They beat them straight up.
Listen, the Nuggets might have my favorite player to watch right now in Jamal Murray. I love watching Jamal Murray right now. He is super fun, and he is a blossoming star right in front of us because he's stepping up when Kawhi Leonard and Paul George crumbled.
Mm-hmm.
In the big moment, he has stepped up and has really taken it to the other team. Same thing with Jokic. Jokic may have not gotten like 20 or 30 points, but he still went out there and got a triple-double. All right, and not to mention 22 rebounds. Okay, that's fantastic. I think the only thing that is going to keep me from picking the Nuggets, and you're going to probably laugh at me, but I'm dead serious, and
because they don't have Bobo in.
No, it's because of LeBron James.
What about him?
LeBron James, when I watched him play against the Rockets, and I know it's the Rockets and they're super small, LeBron James looked like he was on a mission. He had turned back the hands of time somehow and was actually playing defense at the same time as offense. I am not obviously LeBron James fan. I think I will acknowledge his greatness and how good he really is, of course, but I don't hold him above Michael. And some people would call you a hater. I'm like, no, I just don't look at him like that. But I do believe he's just going to be the difference maker because I'm looking at Denver and I'm like, well, who guards LeBron?
Well,
because
Hunter, if I'm coaching against him, I just look at it this way: let him get what he wants.
Just stop everybody else.
Right. I mean, it pretty much worked in this series. Kawhi and George, pretty much got what they wanted. They suck last night, but
right.
They pretty much got and did everything they wanted in this series.
And then everybody, well, you can win that way because the big question mark everybody has had around
50 or 60 of those guys, shut the rest down.
That's the question everybody's had about the Lakers going forward is, what help do they have? What is their bench going to do?
You got LeBron, Pope, Danny Green, and Morris, and Anthony Davis. So you've got who's guarding Murray? I guess it doesn't matter. They're gonna pick and roll them.
Whoever guards Murray is more than likely going to be Pope or Rondo when he comes in. The only
one, be those two.
I think Rondo gives him the most trouble though.
It's going to be those two in pick and roll action against Anthony Davis or Morris, with the Jokic, and then everybody else sitting up on the corners and threes. So the choice is
but I don't necessarily. That's been the thing, though. The Lakers don't run a lot of pick and rolls because AD and
I know they don't. I'm saying the Nuggets will.
I thought you were talking about the Lakers running pick and roll.
Nuggets attacking them. So when you look at that with LeBron out there, do you put him in the pick and roll and make him tire himself out on defense? Make that jump shot get a little bit. Whoever's guarding LeBron, I put him in the pick and roll. Make him play at the top of the key.
Here's the thing. They have to play just like how they played against the Rockets. The only difference is they're not going to out-rebound them by 20+.
Mm-mm.
I don't think they out-rebound like they did the Rockets, the Denver. I think they do some nights because you got 3 7-footers you can throw out there at any time.
Mm-hmm.
That's always going to be a handful. I don't know. This has now gotten a lot more interesting. I think the game would have been just as interesting even if it was Clippers-Lakers, just because I wanted to see which set of superstars up to. That's what I wanted to see, who played better between those sets of superstars. But now this is just interesting to me because Jamal Murray walking out on the court can get you 25, 30. And Jokic can do the same thing, or he's going to get 22, 23 rebounds and out-rebound everybody on the Lakers team. That X factor, to me, in this series will be LeBron. I think a lot of people will say it is LeBron, because if you do it this way, Jokic and AD could technically cancel each other out. They're going to battle against each other all series. LeBron, does he guard Murray?
Well, with the pick and roll, it's going to be whatever Denver.
I know, but does he pick him up coming up the court? Because Jamal Murray could pull a 3 at any moment.
No, they're not going to have. That's why I ask if I'm Denver, I'd want LeBron picking him up, because I want that tall shot blocker, maybe the heaviest man on the court, away from the basket. Because what LeBron likes to stand at the block and not play a lot of defense a lot of times. So if you could put
his defense at this age is always backside help.
Right.
If someone drives in, they get past their guy, he comes cross.
I'm not saying he can't guard a pick and roll. What I'm saying is he probably don't want to do it every damn time down the floor. So it's more of a sometimes, Hunter, you attack in different ways. And what I mean by if you make LeBron play the pick and roll every time down the court,
right?
Because if eventually what you're going to do is either shoot or throw it to someone else anyway. It's not like you're going to be taking shots in LeBron's face. But what you're making him do is move his feet in the pick and roll instead of just standing in the corner guarding a shooter. Do you want LeBron standing there being rested,
right,
guarding Gary Harris in the corner, or do you put him in the pick and roll?
This is a serious thing. In this series, though, with the Nuggets and the Lakers, Michael Porter Jr.'s got to step up and be like that third guy if they can. And the reason why I say that,
play defense on LeBron.
Well, and that's the reason why I'm saying that is because he's 6'10". Like, he's the only one that can really, him and Grant. He's the only one that can really match up size-wise, maybe with LeBron. Grant, I think, is shorter than LeBron, but they're both skinnier.
Right.
Like, LeBron's always going to be able to be thicker and bully ball somebody in the paint whoever you put on him. And I'm just talking like scoring-wise, too. That's a 6'10" guy that can create his own shot. If it just gets consistent, I know that's a lot to ask on a rookie in a Western Conference Finals. I need you to at least go out here and get me 10 to 12, but let me put it this way. I don't think that's out of his reach. I think he can do that.
I think it is awful nice, Hunter, for the Denver Nuggets to be so gracious in victory and winning that they're so confident in winning that they've yet to put in their best offensive weapon, and it's so nice of them.
He doesn't see the floor in this series either.
We'll let you guys win 3. He doesn't need to. That's the magic of it. He's so good. They don't even need it. They're so good. They don't even, Hunter. In fact, though, it is kind of crappy. Bates, Diop, Dozier, and Daniels all got in last night for the last 30 seconds,
But he
and
didn't,
he didn't. At DNP, the only
I don't
person
know.
on the
I don't
team.
know who he's pissed off, but
I think he slept with Malone's wife.
you heard it here first.
That's just total joke.
You heard it here first.
Maybe he has something on somebody. You know, that stuff happens.
Bobo, yeah, that little laughing face of his, he just got dirt on everybody.
Maybe he busted the bubble and
Busted the bubble,
and they don't want to tell anybody that.
Oh,
that Bo
man,
busted the bubble. I just man,
I think that
I watched a 5-minute highlight video of him last night in the bubble.
Right.
And I just got hyped, and I'm just like,
he
put
just
him
got
in,
hyped. Put him in.
put him in.
Maybe we'll see if they need height.
They ain't gonna do it.
Nah, they probably won't.
But see, in watching those videos too, Hunter, I like the kid how he plays, but like I'm not seeing anything in the videos like he's not just standing there, like he's blocking shots, which is deep playing defense. He's stealing the ball because his arm, he's got a 7'9" wingspan. He's dribbling it. He's catching dunks and alley oops. He's shooting threes. Like there's nothing on the floor that he's not doing. And that's
Maybe maybe it's just maybe he's not aggressive enough.
Who knows? Well, Paul Millsap ain't done. He
he's really aggressive.
Put it this way: if seriously, if Bo, and I know whatever the defensive angle that you can look at, if Bo gets 32 minutes, he's not getting 6 points and 3 boards. He's getting 10 and 12 and 5 to 6 boards. He's getting more than whatever Millsap's getting you.
True. Hey, maybe listen, Kevin. Maybe they've had a plan. If they made it this far, they were going to keep him a secret.
Going to unleash him.
And then unleash him. You never know.
What's going to happen, Hunter, is, and I thought they'd do it last night when they got up 15 late like that, is they're going to get up big in a game and put him in, and he's going to like hit like 3 or 4 threes, and then they're just gonna, all the fans are going to be like, put him in more, and I don't know. But damn, I'm happy they're winning.
Listen,
because I'm them knocking off
Kevin,
the Clippers.
it's the same question with the next series that we'll talk about. Why would Boston not even just put Taco Fall in there just for like 5 to 10 minutes a game? Why would you not?
So Clippers, with losing this series, Hunter, extend their non-conference championship appearances to 50 years. Thank God for the Nuggets folks. Thank them for you Charlotte Hornets fans. Send them a card. Because if it wasn't for them, you would have the longest drought in sports at 30 years without a conference championship finals appearance. Yes.
Jeez, man.
Clippers in 50 years have never made think about it. Doc in 7 years with all these All-Stars that he's had has not made the finals once.
There's been a lot of talented players through these past 7 years he's had too.
He's choked out 3-1 series. All right, so Nuggets, Lakers, we talked a little bit about that. Out east, Jimmy Butler takes the first one. Hunter goes out on the line on these series and says, this